There was like a 3-month window over the summer where like I had absolutely insane months. I mean, like life-changing months. And dude, I know it sounds crazy, but I was like just so miserable. All right, let's see if I can remember how to do this. Maybe you hop in here. Help me start this off. Needless to say, over these last few months, things have been a little different. And coming into 2026, you guys can kind of see now that I am on a path of something. Huh, baby? You wanna go watch Cars? Yeah, guys. So one of the things that I really wanted to do coming into the new year is I wanted to start focusing on some certain goals, a clear path, a direction that just felt right for me. And with that, I didn't want to fall back into the trap of making that like the start, the idea content. Over the last 10 years on this channel, that's something I've done a couple times and it's worked before. It was like this idea that like, hey, I'm gonna start this 100-day vlog challenge, or I'm gonna start doing this once a week or that every other day, so that way I can get better with X, Y, and Z. The big reason why I did so much vlogging back in the day in Ohio is I wanted to get better with a camera. And you know, over the last like 3 years, ever since Kick happened, there's always been this like weird imbalance where I was pushed in one side where I was doing extremely well, but in that area of doing well, it didn't really like tap into my creativity. I've tried to explain this so many times throughout the years. There's something that I love about this. Like coming into the new year, doing some of the things that I'm like, okay, this is what I'm gonna start doing again. I'm gonna start imagining my brand is that business I used to work for, and I'm gonna treat it the same. I'm gonna treat everything I do in a day like how I would be if I was at that job. I would be taking behind the scenes photos. I would be noting down things more. I would be planning and structuring and organizing things more. I would be performing higher at my ability for the company. And a lot of my pivot coming into this year is like, why am I not doing that for my fucking self? And over the last few years with streaming so much again, even though I've even said multiple times that like, don't make streaming everything. I fell in the trap again. I fell hardcore into it. I felt like I had to do it because it was doing so well. And it's made it absolutely impossible over the last few years to do that whole creative push to essentially take a challenge and turn it into content and learn something from it. Because I just kept revolving back down the path after trying a couple things of, oh, whatever, who cares? I'm doing well anyways. So I wanted to change that. And that's exactly what we've been doing lately. And it's been fucking awesome. And this is my first step coming into the new year after we've actually got the ball rolling in documenting this process. This is my building in public, unfiltered. I'll tell you more, but we gotta get a lift in.
Hold on to the hand of self-destruction. And I'm back to a place that I left a long time ago.
Go, 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 Lightning McQueen, go. Shoo! So we have to mute the movie so that way I don't get any copyrights. So that way we can keep buying you all these heavy weights. North Carolina got a whole bunch of snow this week. This is the most snow that we've actually seen since we've ever been down here. And the daycare's been closed the last 2 days because of the roads. Yesterday, I understand. Today, a little ridiculous. So I'm on little man duty for the first half of the day. All right. I'm gonna kind of just explain a little bit of the changes. Yeah, baby? So I knew that I had a problem last year. There was like a 3-month window over the summer where like I had absolutely insane months. I mean, like life-changing months. And dude, I know it sounds crazy, but I was like just so miserable. I was not happy. And I tried to like assess things and try to figure things out. And the thing that really changed everything was me, Jayhawk, and Rob. These guys are fellow content creators. And Jayhawk started losing a lot of weight last year. And we all started kind of pushing each other a lot during the summer. Buddy. And I started doing 75 hard. And that process alone, like making health and fitness my priority, like starting my day, every day doing something and accomplishing something, that was step number one. It was like the first sign that I needed to make change because I was finding so much reward in challenging myself. Like I was genuinely happy. And then the big pivot was there was a 2 to 3 week window where I had to do a whole bunch of house stuff, a whole bunch of cleaning. And I'm not gonna lie, those 2 weeks were some of the just most fun weeks that I've had as a creator for a long time. And that's the moment that I knew, that's the moment that I knew that I would have to be making changes coming into the new year. So my thought process was when Battlefield comes out, I'm going to go super hard in content on that for one of two reasons. Reason number one, hey, maybe it will just be like this big transition that just like works. For some reason, it just flows well and it just feels natural. Like, okay, if I would be a full-time streamer and I would have a schedule around fitness and producing content, what would that look like? So I did that. Battlefield came out and I stuck to a routine. I went live in the mornings. I had my crew. I had my editing hours. I made sure I prioritized sleep and fitness. I created the ideal system of what a full-time streamer should have. And the second reason for that as to why like I figured, well, hey, this should be a good path to go down, like a good experience to go through. Because if this doesn't go the route I want it to go, and I continue to have this feeling of not being fulfilled, I need to hone in on that. And I wanted to be able to leverage this experience of me going through this as a streamer and finding progress and success within a game. And I wanted to build something around that. So that's why I came out with the 90-day streamer blueprint, because it worked. We were producing 10, 20 million views a month on RedSec out of nowhere after not even uploading gaming content for years. And that's essentially what I'm doing. Over the last few months, I've been getting more into using AI to help me understand things. You know, years ago when I was really active on things, I had a pretty good structure, a lot of systems, planning and organizing, but it was kind of muddy, right? Like it wasn't consistent across the board. If I could give my planning and structure and routine to somebody, it would be like a mixture through Apple Notes and notes written down and Google Drives. And over the last few months, I've personally been trying to get in the habit where whatever system I go through, whatever experiences I do, I can package that up and anybody could use that. I mean, just an example right now, I just made this last week to start tracking fitness and whatnot, to where I can input, progression tracker. I got a full workout plan organized for me for the entire month. Just right in Google Sheets. With a couple clicks of a button, I can keep track of everything. And outside of fitness, I'm even doing this with tracking content. Like this is the list of things that I'm gonna be recording today. Yeah, about time for your nap. So yeah, I seen a clear problem. I looked back over the past couple years and I seen how I was acting this summer and how I was pulling myself in different directions and having like an identity crisis and just analyzing that. But it's like one of those things where it's like, fool me once, shame on you, fool me twice, shame on me. And since I was going through this experience and feeling again during a time where I feel like I should be really blessed and I should be optimistic and happy, like I'm getting results, I'm getting rewards for doing what I'm doing. And I look back over the last few years and I just came abundantly clear that I feel like this when I'm not challenging myself, when I'm not trying to do a new thing and push myself not only as a creative, but as a person. But yeah, I was just watching an episode of Andy Frisella today. And while I was listening to these guys talk, the guest that he had on said that failing's just a part of the gig. Like you're gonna screw up at times. But what's crucial about failing is you man up and you don't repeat the things that you know were causing problems. That's where you actually lose. Growth is gonna come from assessing the failures and making sure you don't do the things that you know you shouldn't be doing again. And over the last 10 years, I've always had this kind of like blinded, yeah, are you getting sleepy? Yeah. And over the last 10 years, I've always kind of had this like blinded thought in the back of my head that at some point I'll have like a breakthrough and it will just all be repetitive and it will just be routine. And what I'm just learning over the last few years is it's not the case. It's never gonna just be a get to a point and it just stays there forever. I mean, this is a prime example right here. Like, this was such a curveball, and it was like one of the best curveballs having this kid. So I knew I had to change things. I knew I was gonna burn a couple bridges and lose some viewers. I know it's confused some people because I try to give comparisons to things out there, like, is Kick better than Twitch? And like, yes, it is, but not every tool is perfect for every individual creator. I am just not a full-time streamer, and there's nothing wrong with that. I'm a creator first that uses streaming as a tool in his assets. Okay, I better get this little guy down for a nap so I can get some stuff done in the office. So I want to kind of just bring you in a multi-step process that I took over the last few months to build into the direction that I'm going. Yeah, the whole point of building in public is I want to bring you behind the scenes and thought process of the things and decisions that I made and the stuff that like I had to give up and the plans that I had to make to be able to make this pivot. Because here's the reality for me. I put myself in a position after so many years of just focusing on streaming because it was doing good again, that everything else started to slack. So once I knew that in 2026, I wanted to remove myself from the position of relying on one thing, I wanted to start to scale. There was two things. I had to set myself up. And the second thing was, if I want to start helping creators and brands and businesses, and I want to build myself up as a product and sell things, I'm going to have to prove that I know what I'm talking about. So I needed to build the very systems to create the habit. So this is how I kind of broke it down over the last few months. First off, I slowed down and I got clear. I mentioned this a lot lately with creators needing to be very clear in their target customer. And I heard somebody talk about this a few months back and it really resonated with me. There was this general idea that what they do is they imagine who they're talking to, like the person that they genuinely want to help. That switched a lot for me. And I also think that's just something that a lot of creators and businesses should focus on, because for me, for the last 10 years, ever since I started this YouTube channel, a lot of what my content foundation started off of was helping a creative. Like, it started off as a graphic designer. Like, I wanted to help other designers learn through failures, give them confidence, tell them how to price their shit, learn how to deal with chargebacks and you know, maybe build up some confidence in them that their work is of value. I wanted my content to be there to help people, because when I started doing graphic design, I didn't have videos. I had to just learn through the process. I had to get scammed on PayPal multiple times before I learned my lesson. And throughout the years, even though I've learned how to create content and an idea to get clicks at times and to get views, anytime that I felt very passionate about content, whether I was like, well, I'm angry, I got to make sure I really give my case, or like, I'm happy, I'm excited, like this big thing is happening. Anytime it really happened, there was always this connection. Like, even right now, I think you can even feel just like as a person, like there's no bullshit, there's no script, there's no AI here. You can tell that I'm very interested in explaining this to you. And this is because I imagine right now, the person that's behind the camera that hates their fucking job, like I did years ago, that is just like, there's something about me that is different. And there's something else that I feel like I'm meant to do. I make these videos and I'm making this content on the push and narrative and idea of like, I want you to understand that that's not just a weird feeling. That is something that's like in your soul. You do want more out of life. You do want to take your hobbies and passion and turn it into something. And there's nothing wrong with that. So the first step that I had to do months ago when I was making this transition, I needed to be specifically clear that if I'm going to go down this route, who is my target viewer? Who's my target audience? So less reaction and more intention. And then two, I simplified my content.
And that's what I used Battlefield for. I know it sounds so crazy, but like my biggest thing when Battlefield came out was like, okay, I overcomplicate shit. And I need to not only prove to people out there, but prove to myself that I am overcomplicating shit. So I stopped trying to just do everything. And I focused on a few formats that actually worked, and I stayed consistent with it. And again, it worked. The goal wasn't even to go viral. I just wanted to be consistent and build up a system that, one, I could package up later on, and two, just to kind of get the confidence with myself that I knew that I was doing. You know, I wanted just the sustainability. And then even some of the shit did blow up. It got millions of views across platforms. So from there, I started focusing on systems. The weight loss stuff, like getting back into fitness, that really has helped a lot, because getting my sleep down and kind of the non-negotiable early morning workout, it's been crucial in my personal self-development over the last year. But it needed to be bigger than that. It needed to be not just a daily routine. It needed to be, what should I look at in terms of weekly? What should I look at in terms of quarterly? And then we'll worry about the yearly, which was actually like perfect timing of Battlefield launching, because it was the last quarter of the year. So I kind of made this plan, and that's the window that I gave myself. But in the point of building the systems, I've really tried to look at everything as a process, not just random inspiration. I've really retracted a lot of my habits that I've developed over the last few years over these last couple months, and this idea that I would think about this topic or I think about this thing and it would get me all riled up, and then I got to go make a video about it. I got to go get it going. And I've just kind of slowed down. In building this system and changing the mentality and having a process, it's helped, because this is what gives myself and many creators the energy to show up on low energy days. It changes everything when you create a system that's built to continuously work, so you don't constantly react on the emotions of how the results of your content is doing. It's great to analyze everything. You have to. If you want to scale, if you want to do anything successfully, if you want to be a successful content creator, if you want to run a business, if you want to be an entrepreneur, if you want to help other people, you want to sell a fucking product, you have to analyze shit. You have to get geeky. There's no fluffy rainbow bullshit dreams. Like, oh no, you just fucking wing it, man, and life will fucking happen. You're gonna have to figure out things at some point, but building a system and a process makes everything slow down. It stops making you focus on everything in the immediate. You put an upload up and you're instantly scrolling, refreshing to see how many new views, how many likes. Bro, give that shit some time to breathe. When you have a system, once you get that out of the way, it's okay, on to the next thing. I gotta knock off this other thing on my path. The fourth thing I did was I aligned my content with the income. In the worst case scenario, again, I knew that streaming less, I was going to make less. I didn't know how my first product launch was going to do. It did do insane numbers so far. It's only been 2 weeks in, hundreds of purchases just between two products. I can't thank you guys enough. You guys are fucking amazing. But I didn't know if that was going to happen. I didn't know coming into the new year if I was going to be able to get Facebook monetized and get everything else cooking and get everything flowing, making sure YouTube's back up to a healthy rate. Again, Kick and streaming in general became so successful in that specific area that anything outside of that started to hinder so much that I had a plan for that. To be able to pursue this, I have to have everything in order to do that. So instead of post now, figure it out later, I started thinking, okay, well, how can I put posts together to build systems, structures, and have potential content and potential products that I can package later down the road. And number 5 is the big one. This is probably the one that you've noticed over the last couple months specifically. I've given myself permission to evolve, right? The only pressure that I get put on my shoulders is the weight of other individuals who expect something of me. And most of those individuals are haters. It's the people that run around on like YouTube and Twitter, just hate in the comments or just say like, haha, this guy's got less views than what he got months ago. That weight, that fear, that pressure, it doesn't fucking exist. That is only their lack of success talking shit on me. It only affects me if I allow it to affect me. So I've given myself permission to have flops, man, to fail, because the end result is going to be so much better. And this is the thing that I haven't felt in fucking years and brings me to life. Again, I've gotten into such a routine and habit of being successful in this thing, like making a lot of money. So it's just essentially paying for my time to be there. But in that process, you become dependent on something. You become dependent on the vanity metrics, the flash. How many people are chatting? How many people are in the live stream? How well is it doing over there? No, not anymore. I'm just letting go of the shit that used to work over the last couple of years to attempt the things that I want to work, that I want to try. My whole goal with this was to do it while not trying to over-explain in videos before I actually attempted to do these things. This is why I haven't made videos over the last couple months of like, okay, I'm going to do this in 2026. I'm going to change and get away from streaming full time. And I've just been in the habit of showing up and trying to be myself and talk about the things that I enjoy and trusting that my audience will grow with me. I have a lot of confidence in that because you guys know by now, I'm a big believer in the idea that I don't need 1 million people to like me to be successful. I just need a few hundred people that genuinely fuck with me. What I'm after is making sure I give back as much information and push to enough people out there that actually have the fucking balls to do the shit that they want to do. I want to help encourage you guys to do it and help ease the process along the way. And during that journey, I want to set myself up to finally make the big pivots that I've always known I was going to do eventually, but always held myself back from doing. And that's building something that's bigger than me. Like there's always just been this end goal of there's got to be something that outlives this idea of just me being a creator. And we're tuning into that direction. Even though I've been doing a lot, this whole entire process hasn't been about doing more. It's about doing things on purpose. It's about having intent with my actions. You know what I mean? So that's what I've been doing over the last few months to get this process going. Obviously, there's still a lot of confusion. There's a lot of things that you guys don't know that I have in plans and in store, and that's completely fine. Like I typed up in that post the other day, don't tell people your plans. Show them your results. And that's just been my biggest guideline to follow moving forward.
All right, so kid is up from the nap now. About to have my first meal of the day. Every day. Actually been pretty locked in with the eating side of things, which is probably, I would have to say that's honestly the biggest thing that I struggle with. I can get in a pretty good habit of working out. Obviously though, I get the best results when I'm eating high protein, eating lower calorie. So this is what I've been having every day for weight loss. Serving of rolled oats, 1 cup of egg whites, a scoop of Justin's peanut butter, and then some blueberries in there. 545 calories, 38 grams of protein, 22 grams of fat, and then 32 grams of carbs. So the thing that I really like about this is it's just not only good for macros, but it's a good, easy meal to make, to be a part of like the routine. Like it's really hard to break away from this because I literally just throw some oats in a bowl, throw some egg whites in there, a little bit of water, microwave it for 2 minutes, scoop of peanut butter, blueberries, mix it all together, and I'm done. It's just that easy. Dude, kid, you have a goddamn problem. This kid has finally got his first addiction, and it's a great movie. I definitely back it. I'm for you, man. Cars is awesome. Yeah, say ka-chow. Can't say it's cuz yet, so it's but-dow. But dude, I mean this, you get done watching it, and he's like, cars. Yeah, is that funny? Say cars. It's so funny how different Megan and I are or were growing up. Me growing up, I was the same way. From a young age, I was very addicted to movies. Not like in a bad way. It's crazy how he's 18 months and there's already parts of the movie where like before they'll say something, he'll like say it. And I remember like how when I was younger, I used to watch movies and recite the lines and remember things. And you know, I don't know, I just wonder at times if that wasn't something that led to me being creative and liking the process of storytelling. So one of the things that you learn with kids is like, everybody online's a fucking guru. Everybody knows what's best. Don't do this, don't give them this. Don't have a nightlight. Make sure they have a nightlight. Don't have night sounds. Make sure they have night sounds. Don't let them watch movies. Well, actually having stories is good for the development of the, bro, everybody's just winging it, man. It makes him happy. He's not a fussy kid. When we say too much is too much, he's like, okay, whatever, and he moves on with his day. So we've just let it become his like his first thing. But anyways, I'm gonna bash this bowl of oatmeal, getting my Instagram post done for the day. Since I got him for the morning, I figured I'd make it easy and I focus on a photo post for Instagram today, like a carousel. And then when Megan gets home, I'm gonna work on a video version of that. In all my years of vlogging, creating content here in North Carolina, I don't think you guys have seen that one single time in any of these videos. It's so funny, like, people, I mean, granted, people don't get this down south. So like, I get the overreaction and people just not being used to it, but if you mention that to Southerners, like, they get so offended. I was getting my glasses fixed the other day, and one of the ladies was like, sheesh, the stores were crazy today. I was like, yeah, it's because all that snow's coming. Nobody down south knows how to handle it. And this one lady was like, yeah, well, we don't get it. That lady was like so offended that I like made a stab at them not being able to, like me saying like, oh, I'm from the Midwest. She just like really had to hold her ground and let me know. Anyways, we got some errands to run. Part of the process of this year is I wanted to, with me taking, I guess, more of a risk. It's so hard to call this a risk, especially with the first month, because like in my head, I guess I'm beating myself up as a creator. I'm devaluing my potential because I'm basically like, oh, well, I can only make money streaming. But dude, everything's actually super great. The support on the store, the support on the videos, the support on the YouTube streams, like that alone has replaced so much. And then just getting ahead with all the extra inventory. But one of like the goals and just making sure that everything's good for this year, we want to make sure that we're setting our minimum floor as low as possible from like the ceiling. So making sure we get our rate of income as low as possible. So we've gotten ahead on the house, we've gotten ahead on vehicles. So we're just capitalizing on that, making sure that we have good breathing room. So like as I transition into doing everything this year, it just, nothing becomes stressful. It all becomes part of the process. Okay, so we are running an errand real quick. Megan is inside dealing with some post office shit, man. We shipped out a Mac Studio like 3 or 4 days ago. It still hasn't sent. I know it snowed here, but did they just stop sending mail out of Charlotte? Anyways, one of the things that I wanted to start leaning into, and this isn't my idea, I take huge inspiration from Roman Atwood with this, and a couple other creators, but like this is really where like I see the value that he gives in every single one of his vlogs, or in the majority of them, and I really resonate with that. And that's something that I want to kind of forward that idea to you guys and gals. I want to basically make sure that every one of these episodes or vlogs has some kind of immediate value. What is a lesson that I am learning that I can give maybe some of you guys and gals, word of inspiration, right? The big thing that I want to hit you guys with today is, guys, don't delay the shit. You got to start. There's like a quote that I've seen that relates hardcore with this, and it's like, the longer that you stay on the train going in the wrong direction is the longer it's going to take to get back. And that is so true. If you guys are sitting on like this hope or idea of like, you want to start a business, you want to start creating, you want to start a hobby, you want to start making YouTube videos, you want to start documenting things, you want to get good at taking photos. The longer that you think about that in your head and you continue to stay on this journey of you not doing those things that are already getting you excited just off the thought and idea, the harder it is going to be to navigate back to a point to get there. Because life just happens, man. Out of nowhere, you get older, you get in your routines, you get more comfortable, you get more stable, or you get more grounded to whatever setting that you're in. And it's harder to take those chances. Anybody that's watching this video right now that's in their 30s, 40s, and 50s is relating hardcore with what I'm saying. I know you just get it. Like if you're watching this video and you're in your 20s and even maybe 30s, you are so lucky that
You might not have it all together right now. You might not have a set thing. That chaos and freedom is almost a luxury because you can take those risks. You aren't that far away from coming back to the destination that you really want to go to. So if there's one piece of value that I could provide to you guys today, it's do it now. Like, of course, the best time to have done it would have been a year ago or 5 years ago. But the second best time to do any action is now. It's in the moment. Yeah, hope that helped. All right. I'm a pretty big hater on anything non-milk, trying to pretend to be milk. Shit pisses me off. Like, you're not milk. Milk is milk. It's out of the tit. After I witnessed that child come out of her and then the natural orders of life, I stand on that ground a lot more. Milk is milk. Almonds can't be milk. Cashews can't be milk. Oats can't be milk. Those are almonds, cashews, and oats. With that being said, please don't interrupt me, Megan. I'm trying to make a living off of this. Place did not have fat-free milk. It had whole milk. I'm pretty dialed lately on the calories. So I'm trying oat milk for the first time. I know Jay really speaks highly of it. But you gotta understand one thing about Jayhawk and Rob. Their taste buds are so fucking ruined from all of the weird coffees that they've gotten throughout the years. But we'll give it a try. Here we go. Better than almond. It's much better. I will say it's better than almond. Small latte, oat milk, cinnamon, honey. Not too bad, I'm not gonna lie. I can see where you're going here, Jotty. Come here for one thing. Next thing you know, you're like, get new towels, let's remodel the kitchen. Now, what about those?
Oh, I can see those. I like these better.
See what I'm saying? Every corner that you turn, you're just like, fuck, dude, another cool thing. And look, we can get green to match the new theme.
Oh, I was gonna say tan.
And green and theme rhyme. It's meant to be.
No.
God damn it. And look, green towels too. You know what? We should paint the room as well. All right, now we have dinner. We have 12 ounces Costco 90-10 ground beef, some Kevin's mashed potatoes, and some fat-free shredded cheese, totaling in at 85 grams of protein, 960 calories for this whole entire goddamn bowl. And then that will allow me to have just enough left over for a little yogurt bowl with some protein to end off the day. Yeah, guys, I'm pumped for this. I've already gotten so many comments lately from some long-term viewers and fellow homie content creator friends where they're like, man, I can see that you're loving what you're doing lately. And that's like the entire point. Yeah, guys, it's so easy to get focused in different things and get blinded by different directions and testing out different paths, and you live and learn. But like I said earlier today, a huge important part of that process is you have to actually learn from your shit. You actually have to call yourself out every now and then and be like, okay, I said I didn't want this, or I said I was gonna do X, Y, Z, or I know I learned a valuable lesson at one point. Let's not repeat the things that we went through before. Dude, it feels so weird to do this too, by the way. It's crazy, but 6 years has passed since moving in this house and doing these videos. Like, it has been years since I really started documenting like a process on this channel. For the last few years, it's just been this like, okay, I'm a content creator, I'm a streamer, I'm making income from this. How do I stay relevant on this channel? As to where now it's like, fuck the noise. Who cares about like the exposure? This is documentation. This is part of putting something down that like I want to come back to, and maybe hopefully helps encourage other people to do shit themselves by bringing you guys a little bit behind the scenes, because, dude, my dumb ass can do it. So can your guys's. Anyways, hope you guys enjoyed it. If you guys watch this entire thing, you better be fucking subscribed. That's all I got for you guys today. I'm out. Peace. Deuces.